All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Rob Font's YouTube channel. And in
Let's
today's
go.
episode, we'll be breaking down that UFC card that we just witnessed last night, that Strickland and Ubas
Abus
Magomedov.
Magomedov. Abus. That's gonna be a hard name, man. Abus or
Abu.
Abus? How you pronounce that?
I think it's a boost. I think you got that right.
Abus.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
hope, man. I hope, man. Yeah, it was a solid card, man. Solid card. Magomedov, a little unknown, but you kind of hear that last name, you instantly think of the words, right? Like it's like, whoa, who's this guy? So little unknown. I didn't know much about him before this fight. Obviously, I did my research, looked him up. Lots of experience. Not UFC experience, but definitely lots of MMA experience. And yeah, it was a tough fight. I picked Strickland in this fight. And I was a little nervous, especially after that first round when he started landing those
Yeah.
kicks, and then kind of got that eye poke. But Strickland's a dog. He pulled it together. He he started putting that pressure on him. Like he got close enough to where he couldn't kick, because obviously Magomedov he was landing some decent kicks, and then it's like the moments he hit him with that right hand, it was like all the cardio and energy and everything just stopped
Mhm.
from Magomedov, and just Strickland just did his thing.
Yeah, he did. And those kicks that he was throwing in that first round, man, he had some lethal intentions behind those. They were so strong, and from a distance, he was closing it so quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you
He's a
think it was
he's
a
like a he's like a big, heavy look, not heavy, but like a big dude, man. Like where every single thing he threw, it hurt, man. Everything he hurts, and he's so long, and that range is so hard to deal with, and I think Strickland did great with it.
And then once that second round started, it seemed to be a totally different fighter. It didn't seem to be like that, a boost from the first round. What changed? What do you think changed going into that second round for him?
I think it's the mindset. I think it's he felt something that we can't, we'll never know until we ask him, but like I think he realized that it's not gonna be that easy. I think
Mm.
that little demon started talking to him in his head, and I think Strickland, being a veteran, saw, oh wait a minute, this guy can't really throw hands. Got a little closer, got more confident, and then just took over. And then once you kind of like in this sport, you get down, you beat yourself up as far as mentally, and you start getting down on rounds, and you start taking damage, and it even seemed like he was kind of like turning his back and kind of trying to run away from the shots. Where
Mm.
once that starts happening, it's so hard to catch up, and especially when you got 5 rounds, when you got this crazy guy just coming at you, just nonstop, and Strickland's a wild boy, so he's
Yeah.
like he's coming at you, but he's kind of got that kind of like shoulder roll defense where like it feels like you can hit him, but you're not hitting him. And he makes people miss, and then yeah, and then it was like it's not like Strickland has the most craziest power, but it started adding up. He started landing them, and I think Magomedov kind of folded shop a little bit, and then just gave up, not gave up, but like just kind of called it a night.
Yeah. It seemed like he almost gassed out at some point in that second round where it was just like no more. And he just like crunched
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
It was all she wrote. Do you think it at all, like fighting a guy like Strickland, all the talking he does, and somebody like a Magomedov who may be on the complete other side of a lot of these Sean Strickland opinions. Do you think that plays a part in the fight at all?
I think not. No, I don't think it plays a part in the fight at all. I think it does as far as the pre-fight, and see how that immensely affects you as far as like you want to maybe like Magomedov wanted to try a little harder, or
Mm.
wanted to you know like make it more personal, because maybe I'm not saying Strickland did, but say he said something or he doesn't agree with it. But as far as the fight go, I think everything just starts happening, and it's like you're not really thinking about your opinion and what his thoughts on this opinion is. And so I think post fight, I mean sorry, pre-fight, definitely. During the fight, no, and I think everybody becomes friends after the fight anyway. So
Right.
they're like, oh, yeah, I don't care what you say, we hug it out, and we're cool now.
100%, man. That makes a lot of sense. And Strickland, his game is so simple. It's like that 1-2, and like you said, he's just gonna stand up right in front of you and kind of march you down. Who who's somebody you want to see Strickland fight next?
I think that Paulo Costa fight would be a fun one, man.
That'd
Him,
be a
obviously,
banger.
obviously he's fighting everybody. So like Whitaker's fighting some coming up, right? He's fighting soon, right?
Whitaker?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
fighting
yeah.
that the
Vegas.
South Africa. Yeah, so man, who's the? I mean, I would say that. I mean, obviously you can't just give him straight to the title, but like I think Apollo Costa will be a fun fight. The pre-fight, talk and the media before that fight would be insane.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one. Do you follow Paulo Costa on Twitter?
No, no, I don't think so.
Nah,
I
man,
should just try. Should I follow?
I think so. I think if there's anybody you're gonna follow, it probably should be Paulo. The shit he tweets, bro, is just so like off the
Hilarious.
deep end. Yeah.
I'm gonna go check it out now.
His Twitter is really elite. But yeah,
uh,
there's a lot of guys kind of in that top five-ish that don't have fights right now. Vittori just got out of one, was a loss,
that's
but
true.
that could be a fun fight. And Strickland's calling he said yesterday, title shot or nothing.
Yeah. We'll see, man. We'll see. Like we'll see. Because like obviously, I would say that like I think the UFC likes him. I think
Mm,
he's one of the guys that kind of steps up when he needs to for the company. So
yeah.
you never know. You never know when it comes down to it. And plus, Izzy's basically beating everybody. So like, they got to find other challenges for him too. So yeah, you never know. But I don't know, man. Like
Mm.
I don't see it. But like the Victoria fight would be another one. His rank? What's Victoria's ranking right now?
Right now, Vittori's fourth.
Number four, and obviously Strickland number seven, right?
Seven, yep.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, obviously he's coming off a loss. I don't know how Strickland would feel like fighting a guy coming off a loss, but that's another one. He already fought Cannonier.
Yep.
Um, yeah, give the man a belt, man. Fuck it, just give him the belt, man. Give him the shot, man.
I'll tell you one thing, man. That lead up between him and Izzy would be some top tier content right there. The back and
Yeah, yeah,
forwards.
yeah, yeah. That'll be hilarious, man. Izzy already brings it. He's already got something to say, so he's just waiting for it.
Yeah, man. I would totally love to see that. I would love to see Drakus versus Izzy if Drakus gets past Whitaker next Saturday at 290. But yeah, man, the middleweight division, it's up. There's so many fun potential fights here. Moving on to that co-main event. That was another a fun fight. Grant Dawson took on Damir Ismagulov. What did you think about that one?
Bro, that was amazing how you pronounce that last name, man.
I try, man. I try my best.
You killing it, bro. Damir, I got that wrong. I really thought he'd be able to kind of like stick and move, use his jab crosses, putting those together. I thought he was gonna have a little more rhythm to his movement, a little more in and out, and I was completely wrong. Like Grant just did what he wanted to him, like inconsistently too. Like he just got to that single, took him down, and just pressure. Like, and then obviously he took the back and it made it look like a jiu-jitsu match, and it was really impressive. Like I didn't think Grant, I knew Grant was good. I didn't think he'd be able to control it and be that dominant though. And I'm proud of him, man. That's a big win for him.
Yeah, it really is, man. And like you, I had Demir coming into this. I thought
Yeah,
Demir may just be a little bit better, faster, but Grant like just controlled it every time he was able to secure a takedown, and he held like minutes worth of position.
yeah, man, bro. It was impressive. It was one of those like I'm definitely going back and watching that fight and learning and trying to study obviously the basic back control, and it's super basic, but he's making it look like advanced, and it's basic stuff. Like it's real. It's single back, get on top, get him in like get him in one of these positions where you gonna give me the pass or give me the back, and he just keeps rinsing and repeats. He
Mm,
does it to everybody. And I believe he has like 9 or 10 rear naked choke finishes, and it's kind of like obviously I wish he would have. It'd have been better if he finished it, but like it was just like it was impressive just seeing him just kind of switch the lock, get on top, and just control guy with that kind of wrestling and that momentum and yeah, man. Shout out to him. Shout out to ATT. They figured it out, and it was sucks is that they all kind of train at ATT too, so
yeah,
it's kind of like it's kind of awkward, but solid Coleman event. Um, I'm happy for Grant, and yeah, I'm curious to see what's next for him.
for sure. Does that happen often for you, where you'll watch a fight and there'll be a few simple things that you think somebody just does so well, and you'll go back and rewatch that fight and try to take bits and pieces from it?
Yeah, 100%. I'll try to break it down. I'll bring it to like Tyson, Calvin, Nick. Obviously the team. Kind of hey, what do you think about this? Bring it to Jake and kind of brainstorm it. And work it out, play with it, add it, or throw it away if it's not like flowing the way I like it. But yeah, definitely I try to stay I try to like I try to watch it as a fan, like most fights as a fan as they're live, and then I try to kind of go back and watch it more of like as a martial artist, as a
Mm,
student, try to like pick up certain details as far as like even the way they start, the pace of the fight, how they switch up the pace, the rhythm, obviously a bunch of footworks, little things like that. But then when you get something so dominant, you gotta sit there and you just can't ignore it. And it's one of those things that like um it gets weird how like something so basic kind of gets people excited. Like, oh man,
mm,
that control was so crazy. But like you if you watch like the I don't know, like the EBIs or even like the grappling tournaments that just happen on UFC Fight. That's all you see is that same exact setup, but it's like it's just a little different when it's live and
mm.
it's a fight and you can punch. But it's I guess what I'm trying to say is like I appreciate the basics and like it was so smooth and so basic to be like yeah look at it again and like all right it's just a triangle, but like the way he's switching it, when he's switching it, how he's switching it, what control he has on the upper body, like and obviously like and then what can you add to that, like maybe he could have been threatened a little more or punched a little more, then you kind of just snowball from there, you bring it to the squad and kind of like kind of just tinker.
Mm. And that's gold right there. The basics are so important, bro. The basics are
Yeah,
so important. You mentioned
yeah,
something about Grant. The finish would have been so much better in this one. I agree, but like it felt like he was trying to get that rear naked so many times, but Damir was fighting it off
yeah,
perfectly.
yeah. It's tough, man. It's one of those like some guys make the rear naked choke look easy, some guys it's hard, like it's like Brendan Allen. I feel like he gets there, he makes it look easy, right? Like it's
Yeah.
like, oh man, just choke him. Like it's like, but then you get a guy like that. And I'm pretty sure like Grant is probably if not high level, but it's like it's harder because then it's like yeah, obviously you got different competition, different bodies and all that, but it is relatively kind of hard, especially with the glove to kind of just pick people away. So it's even more impressive when you do.
Yeah, man. That rear naked is a thing of beauty, I think. And I see something on Twitter that was like, America, we have our white Khabib.
Hey, bro, like honestly, like that dominant, man, like that dominant. Yeah, man, I would retweet that one, man. Hopefully, Paulo Costa retweets that one.
You can find it there. And then
Yeah.
Grant, he hopped on the mic at the end of the night, at the end of his post-fight interview, and said, "Islam, you're the GOAT, but I'm your replacement."
Man, the way he looked after that, man. I'm rocking with Grant. I'm not going against him anymore, man. I'm rocking with him, man. Like man, he looked impressive. It's cleaner. I like his striking. It seems like, it's like his pressure. Like I'm like feeling it. Like I'm like, man, this guy is heavy on top.
Mm,
Pause, but like you can just see it, like where it's just like, man, like he gets on top of you. And it's a long round, long, and it's just like and then he's relentless with the takedown. If he doesn't get it, he's gonna be right back on it. And then if he's not in striking, I'm sorry, wrestling range with you, he's got decent striking. Whereas like, and at that, if that only gets better, it's gonna be even more. It's gonna be even more of a mismatch for a lot of these guys because it's like he's determined and he's disciplined. He's focused to do exactly what he wants to do. If it's just that jab, that low kick, and a single leg, that's all he's gonna do. He's not gonna like kind of like you veer off from the game plan. He's going to stick to it. He seems super focused, and he's just going to, he's going to get exact to what he's been practicing and training, and just keep the game plan nonstop. And it's like some guys break under that. Some guys you could be the more talented fighter, but if you got a guy that's coming at you with that kind of like those strategy, those tactics, and that kind of like mindset and that determination, and like guys break. And I think Grant's one of those guys that can make a lot of guys break and just kind of like not necessarily give up, but like just start making bad mistakes.
mm, Get in their head and break them, as some people may say.
Yeah, yeah,
That lightweight division, man, is so fun. I mean, Grant, he was 15 coming into this fight, and I can't help but think he's going to fight forward, somebody in that ranked 15, and there's so many potential matchups here.
yeah. I'm excited for him, man. That's a tough matchup for everybody. I hope I hope he gets a big fight soon. And I know he will.
Hmm. Moving on to the welterweight matchup, Max Griffen took on Michael Morales, the undefeated Michael Morales. What did you think about that one?
Man, got that one wrong again too. I thought my boy Max was gonna handle business, man. Like he did. I feel like I want to say he snuck out the first round, and then and then I think Morales just landed a combination that just really kind of hurt slash wobbled him and kind of took him out of his game. And it was again those type of combination, that type of damage, like it makes it harder for you to come back. And then you got the young, long, aggressive, and he can wrestle. Morales sitting there, he's getting confident every second. He's landing clean shots. He's explosive. Obviously seen that Max is wearing it, so his confidence is going through the roof. And I feel like he never felt. It seemed like he never felt like he had a rush or was never really behind, And he just kind of like stuck to what he wanted to do and just kept the pressure on him. And then he's definitely somebody to watch out for because man, especially the way he took him down at the end of the round and the jabs and the basic combination, he's jumping and he seems way bigger too than Max did at the time. It's kind of like, man, this is going to be hard. And every time Max even kind of got close to a takedown, it wasn't even easy. And then obviously he's a wrestler at that, so it's kind of like, yeah, and I'm definitely keep my eye on him and like I said, trying to see what I can learn from him as well. Because I even think that posturing kind of like made Max kind of take a step back because he even like flexed on him like kind of Nate Diaz style. It's like all that, I think all that body posturing and all that kind of like stops you for a second. Like, wait, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like Max was just sitting there just doing this, and you got your boy just kind of posturing, doing all that, and like maybe that played a little mental. I might try that out this week in the gym and see if it works out. But it was some cool stuff. I feel like like he has a bright future, and I'm excited to see how far he takes it.
Yeah, this was one of those where it's like the young cat who's undefeated and has all the hype in the world behind him against the guy who's been proven, fought in the UFC so many times, beat a lot of really tough guys. And here comes this young cat. And this was a big test. I thought while Mike Morales had a lot of hype and a lot of steam behind him, it was like, can he pass the UFC level talent?
Yeah.
And he did with flying colors, right? So like when you think of the potential and what's next for him, where does your mind go?
Man, it's so much. I wouldn't say give him a top 15 just yet. Maybe give him one more. This is what his third fight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean that's the way the UFC works. They're quick, man. They want to get you going. Yeah, it's a good one. I mean, it's good. I definitely would say give him one more like tough fight that like but don't feed into the dogs just yet because like he's so young. He's 24. He could. It seems like I don't know. Can he speak English?
No, I don't think so.
No, he was speaking. So like, man, if see, obviously he got the Spanish market. Once he starts speaking some English, he got the, like it's only going to help him. He can kind of like be a little more diverse. So I think that they would want to get behind him and push him. Say give him one more decent fight, and then man, this I throw him to the dogs, but. Technically, they already did, man. They threw him Max Griffin, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm like, all right, like, what am I talking about? Like, I just threw him to a dog, Like, I'm like, but that's the way the UFC works, man. It's kind of like you're a prospect, you're good, you're young, you're hungry. Okay, cool, go fight, And so he'll have a big name too. He'll have a big name soon.
And this class of new like surging talents at 170 is so insane. You have the Ian Garys, the Joaquin Buckleys, the Brendan Battles, Brian Battles. Brendan Battles is a heavyweight on the local scene.
Yeah.
That guy.
Shout out my boy. He's Cape Cod, right?
Yeah. Shout out.
Good wrestler, man. Good wrestler. Hey, I trained
him.
I trained a couple times with him.
Sick. Yeah. He's not nowhere near 170.
That's a heavyweight.
Yeah, that's a big boy. Brian Battles, and now you have Michael Morales. So like the 170, the next generation of that divisions, it's in good hands.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad I'm not at that division because there's so many killers, man.
Yeah, man. And like you said, those are big boys. I know they're those are big dudes.
Yeah, it doesn't seem fun to just drill with guys that big, and it's like, come on, man, like scary.
Yeah. The main event of those prelims, Kevin Lee's return as he came back against a talented. Now, this is a name I definitely will mess up.
Let's go. Nah, you got this, bro. I know you got this, man.
Rinat Fakhretdinov.
Rinat F. Call him Rinat F.
Yeah, Rinat F, man. That's a bad boy right there, man.
Oh, man. It looked like a murder scene, man. It was like he came in aggressive. It seemed like fucking Motown kind of like Kevin Lee started off a little slow, like still wasn't woken up, like he needed a coffee or something. Like he just seemed like he wasn't like in. And then Rinat just was basic in his face, clean, straight punch, put him down, and just put him to sleep with that
Yeah.
choke. And it was like, yeah, it's kind of obviously a little sad to see, Kevin kind of go out like that. Glad that he didn't take a lot of punches, though. Like
Yeah.
that's pretty cool, I guess you could say. Like kind of like he didn't go out by knockout, so he didn't. Obviously, he took a shot, but he didn't take that much, that many more of that many shots after the big one. He got choked. It was kind of like a little scary seeing him on the fucking, face flat on the canvas. But man, it was tough, man, because he loses two in a row to what was it, Charles Oliveira and I believe Daniel Rodriguez at 170.
Yeah.
And obviously he goes out, he fights for Eagle FC, fights Diego Sanchez, which is like it wasn't the best fight because of the whole knee injury and like you could tell he was kind of like buckling and it was like, but he pulled it off, right? He pulls it off and he comes back, gets a shot. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know. Not too familiar with him, but he behind the scenes he gets another shot at the UFC, then goes out like that. It's kind of like, what do you do next? Like it's mentally, what do you do? Because it's kind of like it's got to be tough as far as promotion, like what do you do with a guy like that? He have a huge name, but it's kind of like on the skidding. You just kind of cut him, so it's kind of like, what do you do from there? So just kind of feel bad, man.
Yeah. That taking a fight like this against Rinat F, who was on a 20-fight win streak, maybe that's just bad matchup.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Like it's like, but that's the thing though. That you can't. It's not like in boxing or like a local scene. Like you can't really match your way in. Like, all right, you want to. I'm pretty sure they're like, all right, you want to get back in here. You think all right, well, this is who you got, and
Mm.
they can use that Kevin Lee name and build guys. Like Kevin Lee has a name. He has a lot of highlights. He has a lot of B-roll. He has a lot of footage on him. Like he has a lot of like not too long ago he was damn near close enough, and everybody talking about being the champ at 55.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like he has a lot of hype and he can speak. He brings it. So it's like you can build a lot of other fighters off of just Kevin Lee's name, and I think that's what they did with him.
Maybe
With
go back
Rinat.
to 55.
I think he's one of those guys like I was talking to Mike Owens the other day about it. Like, I think he's one of those guys that like the 65 division needs to happen. He's in that weird spot where that 55 cut might be too much. 70 he might be too small. I think he's right in that mix where like that 65 might be, but then it's like like maybe he does go down and kind of like, but then it's like who's gonna go down and fight all those killers down there? It's kind of like
That's right.
it's tough, man. It's tough, man. Like this is where you start thinking like when you're not necessarily getting better and you're getting and again I'm not involved in his camp and like that. And this is where it's tough, like where you're not necessarily getting better and you got injuries. Does it even make sense to come back to the UFC? Because
Mm.
could he have made more money outside fighting for your local shows or even like the Eagle SP or even a different promotion, fighting lesser competition, maybe even being able to kind of match your way through certain fights. Like um, that's something you got to think about, especially when you're kind of like scared, injuries, things are happening. I don't know what's going on personally in his life and all that, but let's just say there might be, there might not, I don't know, but personal things. It seems like he bounces around a lot in different camps. Like I know
Mm.
he was, obviously in Vegas, TriStar. It seemed like he obviously in Florida now as well. So it's kind of like, it seems like there's a lot going on. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It seems like there's a lot going on. Like
Yeah.
maybe fighting for a local show or fighting lesser competition and not fighting these up and coming killers that
Killers.
you
Yeah.
can't even pronounce their last name. It's kind of like like maybe that might be the best move right now. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I hope he figures it out. Kevin Lee's one of my faves, and
Mm.
yeah, no, it was rough to kind of watch, but man, good for Rinat, man. Get in
Yeah.
there, get out, make a statement like that on a solid card. Um, clean right hand, looks scary as hell. Got the bald head and
Yeah.
the
Big
beard, and
beard. Yeah.
yeah, like and then he
Yeah.
just puts you to sleep like that and walks off, and that's a good night. That's a good night for him, man.
Yeah. It really is, man. And the future for Kevin Lee, I guess, is up in the air in a world where, like you said, Eagle FC's around and they have the 65-pound division, or like celebrity boxing's at like an all-time high right now. Maybe go get a
Yeah,
huge bag to fight a YouTuber, and that's way easier than a Rinat F.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. Yeah, no, like it's you gotta start thinking about that. It sucks though, because you don't want to like. It's hard to admit it, and you always kind of think like, nah, I'm right there. But it does to get to a point where, it, man, like you gotta start, making those decisions because he didn't look like he was even up for that fight. Like he was
Yeah,
just like it was a lot. Like he looked like he was making his debut again. Like it was a lot. Like what do you like? There was no like I don't know. It's just a little slow, a little sluggish. Like in the
yeah,
A, it could just be easy to start it off slow. And the thing it happens sometimes. And so it's like I just it's tough, man. It's tough.
yeah. Or
But shout
three
out to
years out
Rinat
the
F, man.
UFC.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
crazy.
Yeah, man. Renat's the real deal, man. I seen some people on Twitter talking about after the fight. You seen Sean Brady's out next week against Jack
Yep,
Della Mananena.
yep.
um,
Jack three names.
yeah. Jack DM. But a lot of people calling for Renat maybe to get that call up and take that fight on a week's notice.
Bro, do it. I'll do it if I was him. I'll do it if I was him. Get in there, another big international fight week card, a solid name,
Big name, yeah.
fresh. I feel like that guy. I would do it. I would do it 100%.
Hmm.
Get in there, go get another check. Did he bonus last night?
I don't think so. I mean, unless
Uh,
he got a like finish of the night, but I know the fight of the night went to Garam and Elvis.
they went at it too, man.
That
They
was
both
a
went at it,
banger.
right?
Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
tough one.
yeah. Yeah, no, if I'm not, man, I would do it. Maybe I'm getting like maybe I don't know what injuries he's dealing with outside of whatever just happened last night. But if he's clean, he's good, mentally ready, he doesn't have any personal things he needs to do, I'll jump right back in there.
And boy, would that be a fun one. Rob, this was a fun one, brother. Thank you for having me
Of
on.
course.
Look forward to doing next week's huge UFC 290 with you.
Let's get it, man. See you next week, bro.